Hello and welcome to the Round 12 preview. Friday night, it's the Blues and the D's at 7:50 p.m. at the MCG. Filming this Tuesday morning. Found a bit of a spark this morning. A bit of a spark. There's only so many times, I think, in life where you can get knocked down before the turning point comes. And I think for us, we are just waiting for that to happen with the group. There isn't anything that hasn't been said about this team, about this club, from media, from supporters, from content creators, from everyone. I think all angles have been exhausted. It's all been put on the table. I really don't know how much more can be said, how much more can be criticized. Some is right, some might be misguided, some may be missing context, some may have some merit. The whole package is there. It's all been laid out in front of us. Everything has been said. And I think there's only so many times that you can get punched in the face time and time again before that next evolution, that next layer, that next door opens where you burst through it and you grow from it. And I don't know, man, Patrick Cripps this morning just biting back at the media. Like, it may be nothing, but I'm jumping on it. It may be something. That motherfucker, man, he's got a little bit of anger about him. And I think, in turn, the reports from, I think it was Caroline Wilson and Matthew Loy, they ran with a story that allegedly Cripps and Doc didn't stay with the team in the hotel, which was factually incorrect. And Cripps has come out and he's quashed it straight away. And he basically said, you can cop criticism about form and losing, but when it's factually incorrect and questions his character and commitment to the team, it pisses me off. This is the accountability as players that we would love to see with certain people in the media. Goes on to say, stay with the team. We aren't where we want to be as a team right now, but never question my commitment to this team or club. I can't wait for Friday night. #baggers. Me too. Me motherfucking too. Whew. Again, it may be nothing, but I think it's just something, and it's got to reach a tipping point. And I'm hoping that this is a little something. Yes, where was that fire a few weeks ago? Where's it been? Yes, of course. No worries. But the reality is we're in this moment right now, facing the D's on Friday night, who I think from our lens, there's a fear about the D's because they've been so great for so many years, and rightly so. But I don't think they're as invincible as what they have been over the last few years. Obviously, Clayton Oliver's not playing. He's a big cornerstone of what they do. We're going to be missing a good chunk of our midfield, our best midfield. We'll touch on people that may come back into the side, but I don't know, I found a little something. The skipper is giving me a little something to just latch onto. Got me excited again. And I'm hoping that not just Crip, it starts with him, the leaders. It starts with the leaders, and then it'll trickle down to the rest. But what I'm hoping for this week is that the turning point of maybe finding a little edge can be revealed on Friday. All the criticism, no matter where it's coming from, can be bottled up, can be used, and sometimes, we talk about wanting to be a process-led team, but sometimes, you need a bit of emotion to spark something. We need to start. We just need to start. We need a spark that we can latch onto and start some momentum. And I hope it's Friday night. I expect there to be a vicious response Friday night. I would love to see, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen at some point. You can't keep losing. Life and football and everything, it's a roller coaster. It's up and down. And for us, there may be a notion that it's just always been down. Maybe that's the case. But for whatever it's worth, can this week, can really the last 4 weeks, we've lost 4 in a row, can that be the source of a really deep and meaningful transition into the next layer of this group? There's an evolution that needs to happen where they've been young, they've been inexperienced, they've been immature, so to speak, for a while. Can they step into that new layer of themselves, get a little angry, get a little vicious, become, they are men, but in football terms, become men, find an edge, find some viciousness about them. Now, that I'm not saying go out and hurt the opposition, but can they find a little something? There's only so much a human being can take before they fight back. So, yeah, I read it just now. I jumped on camera straight away. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. I'm ready. We're not playing well, no doubt about that. The D's are not playing at their best. I think they're beatable. I think anyone's beatable on any given day. Ultimately, if we use the ball poorly, they'll hurt us. They're a good side, they are. And if you give them opportunities to score easily, they'll take it. As I said earlier, we're going to be missing quite a few. The injury report isn't final as at the time of filming this video. It'll come out at some point in the week. It looks like at this stage, Hollands will probably not play. I think Nick Newman hurt his hamstring. Chera, at the time of filming this, is suspended for a week. We're going to challenge that and see what happens in that regard. So that in itself presents some opportunity to inject something different into the side, some new energy. So naturally that conversation focuses on, Paddy Dowes, the Zach Fishers, does Jack Silvani come back into the side? What do we do in that regard? So I don't know. The answer is I don't know. So I'll just let that play out as it plays out. But at some point, we've got to see these guys fire up, play with the spirit, I don't know how you find connection in 7 days. I don't know. We've discussed the disconnection between them, not just as individuals, but as a collective. And something's got to give. At some point this year, it's got to turn around. We're all hoping it's not going to be too late for the season to quote unquote die. And, the chance to contend at the end of the season doesn't completely wither away. It's still possible. It's probably moving more towards the unlikely part. But again, you can only live in the moment. We can look far ahead and do predictors. We can look in the past and focus on how disappointing we've been, which we have been. But I think when you focus there and you focus there, you miss here in the moment. So we've got to start. And, it's going to start with our leaders. They have to drive it. They have to evolve within themselves. They have to evolve as leaders. They have to evolve as footballers. And the rest will follow. So I'm looking forward to that. No fear. How do you cultivate a situation on Friday where there's no fear? And I think, I don't want to reference Collingwood too much, but one thing about Collingwood that I learnt from the supporters that I spoke to and speak to regularly is that us against them mentality came from constant scrutiny from the media or just external factors, so to speak. And I can't believe I'm saying I want to draw on something from Collingwood, but the reality is that's the kind of attitude that I would like to see us implement with this group. Vossi is a motherfucker. He was a motherfucker of a player. He was vicious, and I'd like to see that in this team. I think we have to get to that point. We have to get to that point where we play with a little bit of like I said, that edge. Play a little pissed off. So the test awaits. The challenge is before us. Can they rise to the occasion? Can they give us something to jump on the back of and get behind them? I don't know. We'll wait till Friday. But I'm fired up. Cripper, mate, he's done it. He's got me going. Fuck it. Kind of reminds me a little bit. The first image in my mind that it reminded me of was LeBron James, Game 6 against Boston. Just that look in his eyes. And I want to see that from everyone on Friday night. So, yeah, I think that the notion of, we as supporters, like everyone's got to take accountability and ownership at some point. When I question what can we do, what can the supporters actually do? Ultimately, you get there, you show up, you make noise, you get behind them. You question performances after the game if it's not up to standard. You push for a better standard. But then once game day comes, once the bounce comes, you get back there, you get back on the horse, no quitting, and you fucking go again. So that's what it's going to be. I can't wait. Fine, found something. Found something to fire up at, It's good. It's good. What about you? How you feeling? If you haven't seen this Patrick Cripps thing, you've got to look at it. Fuck, it's great. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling for Friday night. And we'll go from there. See you then. Go Blues.